Hey, welcome back to 2DG. I'm Tim.
Tristan.
And we're not reviewing a beer for you.
Nope.
We're going to recap the Brew Haven 2016 event. First of
Bet
all,
you can't guess what I'm drinking.
if you can't, you should find out. Hey, first I want to say I apologize for such a sloppy video. And I know we were loose. I was real loose.
He, out of all the festivals that we've done, and you've seen them, all of them if you're loyal to us, he was sloppy sounding. He was like...
From the get-go.
He was like teenage girl sloppy sounding.
No, I was wino sloppy sounding. I sounded sloppy from the get-go, and I'm not real sure.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I do have... That segues into our apologies for not putting up a video recently. Personally, this is what I call the... I was going to call it the busy time of year in my job, but I'm going to call it the crazy time of year in my job. This time of year being August. And if you can figure out what it is that I do, you'll know why I get drunk.
And admittedly, back to school season for what I do, so it's been a little busy and schedule's been transitioning, so we haven't really had the time.
We haven't had time. It's been really crazy, and admittedly, that day of Brew Haven, I set out to... I intended to get drunk.
It would have been hard not to.
I don't usually. I don't want people to think I sit around and drink all the time, because I don't.
Hence, you have this channel.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not one of those, I'm no Thorogood. I don't drink alone.
I do, and I don't care.
I don't.
No, and we've already thrown up the stats for how many beers were there from how many breweries, so I won't get into that. Try to throw out a number to be wrong.
Over 300, that's all.
Yeah, so you had, 3 hours or whatever to try as many of them as you could. 4 hours, excuse me. They had, obviously, limited releases of rarer items. But let's start from...
2 to 3 ounce samples.
Yeah.
Pours.
Didn't break my glass this year. Super proud of myself. But let's start from when we first entered the gate. The line process, while it did move a little faster than last year, granted we were a lot more punctual on time, it was kind of a mess. I figured them having done this for so many years now, they would have something a little better.
I didn't think it was too bad. We stood in line for a while, but the thing
was towards the front.
That's what struck me is that the crowd didn't seem as thick this year.
No.
And it was different. A lot of the people I saw the first year or so we went, I did not see again this year. A bit of older crowd this year too. It's almost like the fad has permeated into my parents.
I have a theory behind that we'll get to in a little while.
Okay.
But no, for us, at least me, and I think I speak for you as well, when I say that it's not as exciting anymore because I've had damn near everything. Yeah. And I'm not an alcoholic. But when I first started getting into craft beer, I bought a new kind of beer every time. I mean, it wasn't like I loved Two Hearted from Bell, so I get it every time. No, I'd get it and throw it into rotation, but normally it was something new every time, so... So the first one we had...
Plus.
Yep. Yeah.
Had this.
Yeah, it's one of the bucket lists that we got to cross off. If you know what we're talking about, you haven't been watching our stuff, so... Yeah. Anyway, so the first trailer that we went to, or first spot, was Three Floyds, and that's... kind of our thing. I mostly went there just to see if they were going to bring anything rare. I hadn't seen any announcement.
That's what I was going to say. That was... disappointed. There was nothing there that I hadn't had before.
It's not true.
No, there wasn't.
I guarantee you.
Oh, no, the one. What was the one?
The one that you got was one you never had.
There was one that I'd never had before.
Oh, you've had Flying Tiger Salt?
Yeah, I had that down in Clarksville, Indiana.
Anyway, there was a couple that I have not had, but we crossed those both off because we both got different ones. I had
Red
Flying...
Line? What was it called?
Nah, it was some like...
No, the place I was at. Something down there.
Reminisce on your own time. It was okay. I was actually kind of disappointed. Granted, we didn't get Zombie Dust or Gumball Head or anything that...
Yeah, we tried to get something that we don't see all the time.
Yeah. I was secretly hoping Alphanaut would be there.
I was not secretly. I was openly hoping. And Three Floyds. What the hell? If you produce anything that will knock this over,
It won't.
at least stand up to it. I'm telling you, man, that is a fantastic beer. Bottle the damn thing and get it out there. Jeez.
He's admittedly been a little frustrated with Floyd's here and there.
My job.
Well, I will say though, this past week I did pick up a sixer of Robert the Bruce, which I only did for one reason, and I'll tell you why. Meaning that I hadn't seen Robert the Bruce in over a year.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Yeah, no, I had seen it in Chicago when I went to watch the Cubs game a little while back. Saw it there, but I picked it up, drank one in Dirty Bastard from Founders. Blows Robert the Bruce out. I couldn't believe it, honestly.
You think Dirty does? I would definitely say Backwoods.
Dirty absolutely does. The mouthfeel and the Robert the Bruce was severely lacking.
I'm not that big a fan of Robert the Bruce.
I was, only because like I admittedly hadn't drank too many heavier Scottish style ales because it wasn't my thing for a while, but
there's definitely lots better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and so there you go, all you people who are tired of the fanboy Three Floyds guys. We've been bashing them the last couple months.
Yeah.
Not bashing, you know.
We still have we have a couple more in the works. I do want to do Dreadnought. I've had it tons of times before, but we've never done on the channel. I have a bottle of Maloko, which we've never reviewed. Which we've never reviewed on the channel. I've had it before, obviously. We have
Wise Blood.
Yeah, Wise Blood, which is a Baltic porter, which we haven't. It's been here for a while. Munsterfest, where it's admittedly a year old almost.
Is it that old? No.
Look at the bottle. Should have the date on there. It'll be probably around the neck.
Oh, it is on there.
Yeah,
yep,
almost here.
Next month.
So we'll probably pick up a fresh one and that one and do it around Oktoberfest was their version of that. Anyway, so let's step forward off of Three Floyds. We've been here a little while.
Sorry.
After that though, it was kind of just a whatever.
We hit various. We went straight. I think almost straight over to Prairie Artisans. Really shocked to see them there.
Well, the one that we did before that was Tin Man. They had some kind of
oh yeah, she did go get that.
Sour, or no, it was a goza, some flavor in there as well. There's some fruit, I don't know. But yeah, we did go to Prairie Artisan after that. Admittedly, it was a little after they tapped their Brandy Barrel Noir, which if you watch our bomb video, it's similar in essence to that. A lot of hype behind that one, and I've never had it before. I couldn't ever find it here, and really the only one I can find here, other than like farmhouse style ales, is Bomb. Found Coffee Okie once, haven't seen it again.
That was really good.
Super depressed, really loved that one. So we ended up getting Bomb anyway on tap. I think I've only had it once, and it was good. Still wasn't
that first drink. Yeah. That first one we ever had was just the best, and we've had several since. We've got several more still sitting here.
Yeah, I got quite a bit too.
And it just, nothing's done what that first one did. You'll have that.
So what really stood out, number one, I want to give a shout out to Dogfish Head. Their Raison Dextra, which is a really high ABV beer. I want to say it's like 18 or 19%. It's stupidly high. Honestly, one of the best beers that I had there, and from a brewery their size, and for the amount of bashing that they get from other channels, really kind of surprised me. And I've had that beer before, so the fact that it kind of took me by surprise still was...
It was definitely one of the best beers there.
I finally got Black Note Stout from Bell's, which you saw that already on the recap video. Super excited about that. I've been looking for that one for a while too, and it was good. Maybe not quite what I'd hoped, but it was still really really solid. And I gave you my drunken review there, score and everything.
I think one of the things I noticed this year was a lot of people trying to push the envelope to set themselves apart. You saw it in the video. There was a margarita one beer I had. It was not
mead.
It was not that great at all.
You were drunk at that point too.
Yeah, that's so weird.
That was funny.
No, it wasn't that good. I mean, and there was quite a few of those that were these really odd that you thought, this might be really cool, and it wasn't. And I think we had one with berries too, didn't we? That just Tasted a little too fake.
Yeah, I think
Black blueberry, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, who was that from? I want to say it was from. I think it was from Fatheads. Actually, they're.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which sucks. I actually went with a beer from them that I already had a bunch of times. I was really hoping that Hop Juju would be there, which I've been looking for a while, but it doesn't get here apparently. But I just went with Headhunter. I thought that was fantastic again, but it's one of my favorite beers that I can get all the time anyway.
No, we don't want to crap on this. We don't want you to think that it was a bad event. It never is. There were a lot of good quality beers, but we've just we want to see some of these bigger places bring an A game beer.
Yeah, I feel like, granted, Brew Haven, it's the biggest one in this part of the state, Northeast Indiana, but it feels mailed in for the big guys a lot of the time. So, like, Founders, yes, they brought KBS, and, last year, obviously, we were super jacked, never had it before, all that good stuff. Bell's did bring Black Note, so I can't say they mailed it in per se, but a lot of the guys mailed it in. They send the same stuff.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with 3 Floyd mailing it in.
And Phil, man, I don't know if you had a bad morning. I don't know what it was. I like you, dude. You're a good guy, but you're a little bit of a pain in the ass.
Let's just say this. They have a VIP section. So you buy a VIP ticket, you get it an hour ahead of everybody. Generally, there's not a load. I mean, there's quite a few people, but most people don't go for the VIP. So I understand that Phil may have been working several people, and he was at the time we hit that table by himself.
Yeah.
And it was stacking up because general admission just came in.
Well, then it's 3 Floyds.
But he had a bad attitude, and I didn't cotton to it. And I didn't go back. I got the 1 3 Floyd's beer, and I was done. I'm not going back over there.
Well, the only reason I didn't go back, I mean, yeah, his attitude sucked, but whatever, it's good beer. The only reason I didn't go back, like I said, I had everything on the trailer. Literally, almost everything.
Yeah. But I'll tell you another reason I didn't go back, and it's not Phil's fault. The homebrew stepped it up this year.
That was the thing, too. So before, I hadn't really paid too much attention in the previous years to that stuff, but with new breweries opening up in our town, or my town, and, well, I'll just say Fort Wayne because we've talked about Manny Anthonys before. There's been a lot more growth in the MASH programs, the local homebrew kind of club, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we did put a lot more emphasis on trying to get their stuff this year.
And typically they have 1 or 2 that are really good. But this year I would say they went above and beyond and actually had, I think they had about, 40?
It was a lot.
Roughly 40-some beers to offer. And
the styles range, too.
Yeah, it wasn't all the same stuff. And I think almost every one we tried was really good.
Yeah. I went and, bless you, went and had the Galaxy IPA or Pale Ale, I don't remember what it was, but really well done. Galaxy's kind of regrowing as far as a popular hop to use, thanks in a large part to the New England styles.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really well showcased. You had, what did you have, like a bourbon barrel something or something like that?
I think so.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really good. It was well executed.
So the tent for that, it was like 3 Floyd's trailer right here, and then another trailer, and then the homebrew / local guys over here in the corner. So let's stick there. One of the ones that I was really disappointed with, probably the biggest disappointment for me, was from one of the newer local guys, and we maybe not given them a fair share or a fair shake at first, only because it took them a long time. We're talking about Trouble Brewery out of Fort Wayne. It's a brew pub, I guess. Struggled for a long time to get their brewer's permit and all that stuff so they could actually serve their own stuff on tap at their restaurant. So they ended up getting it, waited still a couple more months after that before they shut down for a week or 2 to actually make sure all their lines were filled with their stuff. So I was really excited to try it. Admittedly, I had not had any of their beer to that point. I wasn't a huge fan of their restaurant. But anyway, so we got in line, and the one that they had really pushed the most was their Dog Jaw Peanut Butter Stout. I was like, all right, I'll get that. That's the one I see the most of. That's the one they seem to be the most proud of. I want that. And as you saw in the video, it looked like an amber.
Yeah, it was light.
And I was like, okay. And afterthought, so a day or 2 after, I was like, well, maybe it's because we didn't have a lot in the cup or the glass or whatever. So then I go on their website or Facebook page, whatever, and they actually had a flight picture. And it was 2 IPAs, their Bad Ash Black Saison, and then it was the stout next to it. And it still looked like an amber. And that made me so angry.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I mean, I think we lit into it a little bit, but I was disappointed. I had a lot of hope for that.
No,
and like you said, it was too light, way too light in color to be called a stout. It had zero peanut butter flavor.
Yeah, I don't know
what
really much to it.
It was really disappointing.
All, yeah. Now I do.
I'll still give them a shake here and there.
Yeah, I briefly remember having an IPA from them.
Yeah,
and it was actually pretty.
Yeah, the IPA
good,
was pretty good.
Not great, but good, as in like it.
I'd
you could at least
again.
you could at least give them something.
And if I'm at their pub, that's probably what I'll go for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the known quantity.
Yeah,
it was a good beer.
So we went to Summit City Brewworks as well. Had a peanut butter black IPA. Actually, really good. I didn't think it was
good.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to pay off at all because they do a lot of crazy stuff and they brew tons of different styles of beer. One of the things that we've knocked on them in the past for is it seems like they kind of mail it in on half their styles that they do because it's like just different little variations of the same thing. And it's not like an IPA where you brew a base style and then throw different hops in each one.
These are styles that you wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, but this one, it surprised me. I didn't think hops and peanut butter would really work.
It worked. I didn't think hops and chocolate would work, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also did Bird Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, one of them I was a little underwhelmed on, but the other one was really good.
I forget which one I had. Because it wasn't the Berliner Weiss, and I didn't go for the Belgian style pale ale because I'm not a huge fan of that style anyway. I can't remember what I had, but it wasn't bad. Yeah.
But I do remember one was okay. It was decent. The other one I thought was pretty darn good, really.
I don't think that I had any new Brauhaus or old school Brauhaus. And I know I didn't have any Junk Ditch. Which I'm not sure if they were just there for food, but I'm pretty sure they had a beer stand, and I don't think I got any. If I did, it wasn't worth remembering apparently. But I'm not going to say that I did because it's not fair.
I don't think so.
So those are the main local ones. Did we do any Manny Anthonys? No, I did. I did their God, what was it? Some ridiculously hopped beer that was
good.
Very good.
Yeah.
What
was that? That was good. I was thoroughly pleased with Matt Anthony's for that.
Yeah, and in all honesty, Matt Anthony does a decent job with their hoppy beers. I want to say it was Mosaic, but their Good Karma IPA, which is one of their ones that they crank out a lot, actually is fairly good for what they had been producing. It's actually really good. Granite City was there. Didn't see a point. I'm still not even convinced they use all malt to brew their stuff, but
I don't know what they do, but I just don't consider
beer.
Chain.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't consider Chain really a good, a brew pub I want to visit.
Yeah, kind of like Scotty's.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed with them. And I'm surprised they weren't there. I didn't see him.
I'm not. There was Three Wise Men as a brewery,
but I didn't see
but
him.
no, they weren't, and I don't really consider it anything. Anyway, whatever.
No, the standout was under that tent as well.
Yeah, the Poor Misfits. They are it sounded like basically what they want to be is like a co-op brewery, kind of like a farmer's market type of thing.
Their website's kind of a guide to beer locally too. So
and
for the greater Fort Wayne area, they'll tell you what's available, where to get it.
And they've actually done a couple of events. One of them I know they did at the Dash Inn a couple months ago. It's a local restaurant in Fort Wayne.
It's a big place.
Yeah.
Good food too.
Hillary Clinton went there, which sucks. But anyway, so
but the food's still good.
Yeah, the food is
Nothing
good.
tastes fishy and nasty.
The Asian noodle salad,
delish,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. Going back to the Poor Misfits, we actually voted for them for the best.
If you watch the video, you'll see, and I talk over the guy, but thank God he boosted and you can still hear what he's saying. But I just wanted to get it out there how impressed I was. And unfortunately, sometimes when I drink, that's the way I get. I want somebody to know something, and I'm going to say it.
Out of the local guys that I've had, Summit City Brewworks isn't bad. I really thought that it was going to provide a better culture overall. And this is what I was talking about with not as high a turnout. And explain that. I thought it would provide a better beer culture for the city. Not only number one, but number two, force Matt Anthony to adapt. Because they had been cranking out like the same core six with the same 3 seasonals. No, that part is absolutely working. We've done some of their out of the box series, which I don't know that we're going to do the next one because it's just an Oktoberfest, and I don't really like that style that much. They actually did release one too. It's called the Old Fort, which I think was something to do with Fort Wayne's birthday or New Haven's birthday or something like that.
I'm sure it was Old Fort Wayne.
Well,
anyway.
Regardless. So that portion of what happened has actually worked out very well. The problem is people in Fort Wayne, the beer culture, the people that go out to the local places, I don't feel they know a lot, and they're supporting mediocrity. And that's kind of destroying the beer culture, which to me has something to do with Brew Haven. It's not an expensive thing to get into. It's $35 a person.
If you pre-order, it's 45 day of. So pre-order, go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth the dollar.
If nothing else, you're going to get drunk. So there you go.
And you get to try any style you want practically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was good for us when we first went. It was great for us because we got to try a bunch of different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we'd had this and we'd had that, but we got to try styles that we'd never thought we'd try in a million years, and now you get them all the time. But
So trouble, to me, I don't want to hate the guys, but I kind of do because it's
hate.
No hate, but it's mediocre, the things that I've had. The IPA was admittedly good, but mediocre.
I find this is what happens to a lot of startups. Is
correct.
They get a lot of, what I call your family fans that'll tell you something's great whether it's not, and that's not conducive to a business environment.
Now, Bird Boy's good,
yeah,
but they're just so tiny that I don't know how many fermenters the guy has, but I know it's basically just a him kind of operation as far as brewing and everything, so they can't get a lot of styles out. He has been doing a decent job, though. He'll throw in a new style semi-frequently. So that's good, and he's not bad. Like I said, I hadn't had anything from Junk Ditch. They're actually just kind of opened up. They're another brew pub. Old School Brauhaus, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Minus when they said they were opening, but I don't even know that they are.
Nevertheless.
Yeah.
Poor Misfits. They nailed everyone we tried. I think was above board. I mean, it was above. It was high. It was great. They were good, really, really good. And like you said, we gave them the vote, and really, I think to be fair, outside of Dark Note or something like that, it came down to basically them or Dogfish Head. And I know a lot of people don't like Dogfish Head, but when you're talking a quality beer, that's saying something. Those guys delivered, so I just want to, man.
And it's cool too because
they're hitting it.
when you went to the MASH Club, the homebrew board or whatever, like you said, there's 40, 50 plus styles on there, and it was amazing to see all this stuff scratched out because it was gone. So
yeah.
There's a big support for the local guys, not necessarily the pros.
Well, it just shows you put in the effort and you produce the beer. People will take it, man. They'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Drink it.
So yeah, it kind of sucks that some of the guys that have opened up aren't great, but you're getting some production out of it. Like Matt Anthonys has really started to step up their game, which I'm happy about.
It's like I keep telling you. All those, that one great one and all those that are not so great, that's cheap equipment down the road.
True. And in all honesty, you get that on a larger scale too. So there's some breweries that I just totally just don't respect. O'Fallon, I think they're out of St. Louis. I totally disrespect them. I've had one beer from there and it was artificial, and I won't support that.
That's not the ones that blend, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't really like Epic Brewing that much either, out of Colorado. And it really seems anywhere in the mountainous area they have a weird thing that to do with IPAs that I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't really support. I like Oscar Blues. I like them. They're out of that region. New Belgium is okay.
New Belgium's had some good ones.
Yeah. Like in another one, Surly, I don't really like them that much.
Admittedly, it's limited what I've had from Surly, but
Todd the Axeman, which we accidentally drank all of, was actually fairly good.
My bad.
for what it was. I think it was a red IPA or something. It actually wasn't bad, but there are breweries that I just flat out disrespect. A lot of them are bought out by bigger guys, which we've covered that a numerous amount of times. But I just hope that with new breweries opening up in Fort Wayne, because it's going to happen, or a semi-decently big city, and the craze, and the craft beer scene isn't slowing down. In fact, it's actually spreading to Europe thanks to Stone and BrewDog and other things like that. So it's not slowing down. The only thing you hope is that it doesn't kill it in your region because a bunch of crappy ones open up.
Hey, when my little town's getting the brew pub.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Brewery, I don't know what you call it, tap house.
And that's kind of one of the breweries that I don't really respect is Chapmans.
I don't disrespect them. I just haven't had anything from them I think that's great. That's that great. I did have something there that wasn't bad.
I don't think there's been anything that's been good.
Their IPA we had at Brew Haven wasn't too bad.
I've had their Kolsch, which I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, chastise me. I don't really care. It's not great. It's kind of like a cream ale. It's basically like an adjunct-y beer. It's not an adjunct beer, but it tastes like one, which is another reason I'm not a huge fan of Sun King. Admittedly, they have gotten better with some of the stuff they've released, but like their flagship's the cream ale, and I hate it. Which I think we've actually reviewed.
I don't know, but Spotted Cow is my favorite cream ale right now. So until something else comes along.
Yeah, and I do respect Lagunitas. Or, not Lagunitas.
New Glarus.
Yeah, New Glarus. Sorry. But their flagship's cream ale. I hate that.
It's Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Hey, by the way, saw an article the other day. It was 20 drunkest cities in America.
I'd never pulled that up.
Okay. At least half of them were in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I think there was one or two south, and the rest were all Midwest North, too.
Remember years ago when you sent me, it's like a Facebook message or a post or something, that said that Pabst was releasing an old IPA recipe. Do you remember what that was called? Because I found something like that. Yeah, I found it, I think.
Yeah, see, the deal was, actually, they had released it. I saw a guy in Louisiana review it.
Do you know what it was called?
No, not right off.
The one I saw had something to do with like a Stein type of thing.
I don't know. It was basically, see, when Pabst got bought out by, anyway.
I think they're bought out by
That's what I was thinking.
No, Pabst is still independent. They just don't brew their own stuff. It's the name and the recipes.
Pabst was acquired. Yeah, they were. Pabst was acquired, and the parent company changed the formula. They said in the 60s, I know, right? In the 60s, beer taste changed, and they said that's when all American beers, lager beers, kind of changed what they taste like, and that's where they all became the same. And they said Pabst actually had a really great taste, flavor, everything, prior to the late 60s. So, as they were acquired and the headquarters moved, the original recipe was lost. And admittedly, most of the brewers who worked there from that time are dying. So
they're actually related in some connection to Hillary Clinton.
The parent company, no. So the parent company actually put in a research team or whatever, but anyway, the guy went out and he tried to locate brewers and get the original formula. Unfortunately, nobody knew exactly what it was, but they could tell you, so they worked a lot of formulas, and then they tasted and had those guys taste, and they finally got it narrowed down, and it's the early recipe, the original recipe, as close as they can get, and I would love to try that.
Well, you probably can soon, because I think I have it. I just I'll Google the name later, regardless of my wasting more time about it. But
we are going long.
Yeah, apologize, but we needed a discussion video about not only the event, but some of the stuff that we
just things that have been on our head lately.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the stuff, and this is kind of like we're getting towards the end of the year. Which, by the way, we know we promised it for a long time, and we haven't done one since literally the first video on the channel, but in a couple of weeks, we are having a brew day. Again, finally, it's been forever for at least me. I think you've brewed a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But, so that will happen in the next 2 weeks. We should have it posted. So that'll be cool. We'll finally get into that branch of the channel. There's other stuff that I want to do, kind of like the old school beers, like Ham, Stroh's. And I think we'll kick it off, hopefully, with that Pabst IPA type of thing. And I think I've seen Ballantine IPA too, which would be cool to get into. So we got other stuff coming too.
Obviously, we haven't done a trash talk in a while, so we can always do one of those. Throw that out there.
I was actually gonna get a bottle of Stella today and do it. That is a trash talk beer.
Yeah, glad you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely stuff that, like I said, we've been lacking on getting stuff to you guys over the past couple weeks, but
summer's
that'll
crazy.
change. Yeah.
Hopefully, we don't get the winter that they're predicting.
We got a lot of beer to brew, and I don't really want to freeze my balls off doing that. But if we have to, we have to. It is what it is.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff coming up.
Unfortunately, we probably won't have, well, maybe fortunately for you, we won't have another discussion video probably for a long time now because there's not really an event coming up or...
There is, but we're not going, I don't think.
What one?
I think we've decided we're not going to Bo and Luke this year.
No, we had the beer drunk and didn't remember anything about it, and then we had it sober on the channel, and there wasn't really anything to talk about. Granted, we still have the varieties to do.
That'll be exciting.
I will guarantee that this year we will probably do Vanilla Hanji.
Nice!
From Three Floyd's Dark Lord variant. We have 4 more of those. Well, 4 variants other than that one to do. So we need to... And I heard the vanilla dies off pretty quick, so I really want to get that done. Yeah, I mean...
Hey, just because we're not going anywhere doesn't mean we're not going to have a lot of cool stuff. I mean, it seems like all the time there's something new and exciting coming out, and it just, you buy.
I buy a lot.
We buy stuff, and then it just stacks up. I mean...
Half of the stuff here is probably empty that you can see, but a lot of it's not, and... We should maybe do like a Greg's beer review type of entry just to show you all the crap that we got. It's not going to be nearly as impressive as his, I'll tell you that right now.
No, it won't be as deep, but we've got almost 2 fridges that are dedicated.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not counting what you have at your house, what I have at my house.
I have a lot. Eventually, the little brother, he hasn't had Dark Lord yet, and we've tried to get him to, come over, hang out so we can get one going, because we have way too much of it. Which I didn't think I'd ever say, that we could share, and he just hasn't done that. He hasn't been over, so...
And hey, if you're not following our Twitter, you should. My hops, I'm growing hops down at my hobby farm.
Which hopefully, it probably won't admittedly be this year, but next year, hopefully when they start growing again, we can do a wet hop IPA, which means that you only use whole cone fresh hops instead of pelletized.
There would be enough to get a decent... one beer, but I've only got 3 different varieties right now, and but I want to say that fresh, they smell so great. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely want to use them up. I don't want them to waste. They're going to use up. I've also got a grapevine. I want to try to do something with the grape, get that grape must taste.
Like a dogfish, that type of thing.
So that one I may reduce it down and can it until I can get the recipe worked out, but
plus we got a lot of Indiana beers coming up. Some stuff from Upland. Excuse me. I got a Taxman beer which we haven't done yet, but I found the one that I really wanted to review. We've been doing Three Floyds, but I mean, truthfully, we've pretty much ran through all those. Yeah, a lot of local stuff coming up too.
I wouldn't mind going to Three Floyds again, though. Their food is excellent.
We're going to have to. Just he's lying to you. He only wants to try to get Alpha Knot.
Actually, no, but I have been watching their, some of the Twitter feeds and stuff like that, and they've been having some interesting stuff that they don't bottle. So.
I want bloobs. Really, I do.
I love bloobs.
You've never
Oh, wait.
So yeah, we acknowledge we went a little longer, I think, than we anticipated. But, whatever. You either watch it or you don't. We are growing still, despite the fact we haven't had any videos out, so thank you.
Hey, that reminds me. We did one last shout-out thing. We did bump into a guy at Brew Haven, and he was telling us about a brewery up around Chicago that's probably doing the closest thing to East Coast style around. And
admittedly, this is self-claimed because we did find out he actually works for them.
No, I thought he didn't work for him, did he?
I think he.
No, I think he had recipes and he was going to brew on that guy's system.
Okay.
And he talked about sending something. So if you do want to send it. We'll tell you how. Get a hold of us. Shoot us a private message. We'll let you know.
I was actually just going to say something about that. We did have a gentleman that we admittedly he was sloppy, so sorry, but
Yeah.
they did promise essentially. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I kind of do. To send us some stuff that was close to the New England stuff, which we don't really get too many of that around here. A lot of
I can't remember the name of that damn brewery, but I looked him up the next day.
didn't he give you a card or something?
No, we gave him a card. But the next day, I did look up that brewery that's over there, and the guy is winning lots of awards.
Is he?
Yes.
Where was that at?
It was over by Chicago, and I want to say it was just south, but I'm not positive southwest.
Well, that's gonna make me angry.
Hey, I'll look it up. I'll let you guys know as soon as I remember.
We'll post it right around.
And dude, if you're watching, put it down there. Not only so that we know, but so everyone else knows that this guy is apparently making some killer stuff.
But anywho, yeah. So the next video you probably see will be, well, it'll be beers that we've already lined up. But after that, we'll probably do one more regular review, and then we'll have the brew day.
Brew day.
Yeah, we'll show you some of the process. I probably won't do a recipe, not because I'm a dick, but because we're a little behind in our plans, and I kind of want to develop our own stuff. So
that's what I was gonna say. We don't extract brew at all. We're all grain brewing, and we do not brew other people's recipes. Really, we may reference some recipes, but we create our own recipes and we try to perfect those.
I think that between both of us, we've done maybe 12 brews total, and only 2 of them have been decent. So we're not pros by any stretch.
No, we're not, but we also are setting our bar fairly high. A lot of people would consider what we do drinkable, and a lot of them would say it's too hoppy or it's too that. But I've only had one, I think, that I straight pitched.
I did too, and it wasn't because it necessarily tasted bad. My conversion was trash. It was only going to be like 4%.
Mine was infection.
Because he has a bad habit of letting them sit.
No, that's not why. I was experimenting on a grand scale. And some of the stuff I put in...
On grand scale.
I was doing things... Yeah.
Grand scale means large.
Yes. I was doing
a gallon.
No, see, I do, admittedly. I'll
no,
tell you.
That's not bad at all.
I brew gallon test batches till I get the recipe work, which obviously I haven't, but, gallon.
It's 2 gallons.
That's a gallon, but anyway.
It's 2. Anyway.
Nice story. So I put stuff into it post-boil that...
You can do it post-boil, but it needs to be directly after.
Yeah, the stuff that I used, by its nature, contains things in it that are risky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, it didn't work. It infected real bad. Smelled great.
Hopefully we have some success stories to tell you about. I thought we'd have a lot more this year, but admittedly it hasn't really turned out that way.
That's one video I didn't put up, was the one beer we were looking at mine, did its quick review. It's not there yet, but it's
wasn't
close.
carbonated.
No, but I've got that little keg thing there now. I could do some stuff, but we're getting close. We're getting real close to some stuff that we'd like to share.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys have any ideas or suggestions for, recipes that you found or that you want to share for us to maybe try, admittedly it won't be soon.
I'm looking for a stellar clone of Treehouse beers.
Well, hopefully...
Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, yeah. That's the foundation that I want my half to be like.
Don't think I haven't thought about culturing the yeast out of this.
Well, we still have a decent amount of cans left for you to do that.
Hey, so that's another neat thing, though. If you are a home brewer, or you are thinking about it, I should say, because most home brewers already know, but a lot of these beers contain enough yeast that you can culture that out, and
especially the unfiltered one,
and play with that. I've done it, I just never used it. I was learning the processes. You can grow that yeast out of there real easily. So, another fun thing. So get your kids out with you to brew.
You can let them drink everything until after fermentation.
Yeah, well, whatever.
No alcohol.
And teach them some biology.
Yeah, basically, you're
some
just making
chemistry.
Yeah, at first you're just making oatmeal water, so whatever.
And if I haven't cut this by now, thanks for watching.
Absolutely.
2DG.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Hit that Twitter too!
What?
Because we'll be tweeting the brew process. Whatever. See ya.